What if you could see, feel, touch, taste, and hear a faraway, distant space and time? What if you could enter there without even knowing where you have gone? Stepping into an empty white canvas, flooded in your senses by impressions of what there surrounds you. Free to explore with your mind an unknown place, to only find out to where you were sent after you returned again. We call this remote viewing, the use of extrasensory perception to obtain information about a distant place. And we do it blind, without knowing ahead of time to where we are sent. This is the target tasking and feedback picture. Describe any non-human intelligent activity at Mount Adams, shown in this picture. A tasker chose this target for me to remote view, but did not tell me anything about the target until afterwards. I was only given the target number to look at. I recorded my impressions, and I sent my impressions to the tasker. The tasker then sent me the target feedback. Here follows an illustrated version of my session material. Everything you are about to see and hear is based on impressions that I had before it was revealed to me what the target was. Life form seems agitated. Anger, refusal of quitting. Life form is not angry, doesn't go anywhere, does not belong to be here either, is not a feverish, hectic person. It doesn't want to be here. It wants to go home. It wants to go away. It is biting something. It is carrying items inside. It has something in its mouth. It is not a fussy personality. It wants to be here, not. It came here on its own will, but it does not want to be here. Not a madman, rather gentle. No one likes to fight here, but a fight has taken place. It got someone ripped apart. Someone gets injured and feels agitated.
I wish I was dead and not here.
We want to destroy the whole world with this technology.
Life form feels fear and lets out a cry sound.
Leave us alone. What part about leave me did you not understand?
The sad life form looks at his or her hand and is crying loud because the hand appears to be injured.
I would like to interview you about what you are doing here.
There is no Jesus here, so that means that you are welcome. Jesus would not welcome you to such a place.
There is a lot of anger and resentment here.
We won't forget that you made your entry in here.
We won't quarrel or fight with you, but you are not welcome.
The sad person is crying really loud and sounds very sad. I would say it is almost heartbreaking for me to see and hear. A life form with severe hysteria, very emotional and upset, crying loudly. The crying person's hand is half cut off, fingers cut off, and blood is gushing out from the wound.
I am not willing to be here.
The sad being turns out to be an animal. Another life form comes here and chops this animal into bits, and it looked like using a meat cleaver. A man came here to this forest area by car. He is a calm personality. Not aggressive, not dangerous personality. And he came here in order to have something to eat here. Life form with the scruffy, short, dark beard. It goes to the lake and can eat fish from the lake. The man shouts out. It seemed to me like a victory scream, like if he felt that he had conquered something. While he did that, I noticed that his upper back is stiff, and he cannot stand perfectly tall because of it.
Now I gotta go and eat something. Well, please can you help me?
The sad man with beard stands in the forest and seems to ask me. He speaks calmly. His jaws are stiff. He is holding with his intact hand, the hand that seems to be cut off and looks to be bleeding. How can I help you? What can I do for you?
I was attacked by a bear.
The man with beard and injured hand, his upper jaw is much more narrow than a normal adult human jaw, narrower from the sides, making me wonder if he is an animal and not a human. This is not a camping ground. Nobody should come here. The man with the bald top of the head. He has a normal pelvis bone, the hip bone that has all the holes on the sides, but his back on the top of the back is arched. An animal has feet that are curved and not human feet. The animal asks me if I have any blueberries. I say no, I do not have any, but that I could see if I can find any and bring them here. The animal indicates to me in which direction I could look for blueberries since it has not been there yet to find them. It then tells me that blueberries make a good feces, which is soft, and that the other food that it eats makes a bad feces that gets stuck in its rear and is difficult to pass, since the other food would contain so many hairs in it, which to me suggests that this animal eats blueberries, but it can also eat presumably meat, by which it would also consume a lot of hair of the animal together with the meat, so that there are hairs on the feces after eating animal. Life form with balding head doesn't want to leave this place and feels an internal chaos therefore. Significance of life form with balding head is to be here and to not ever leave this place. It is fearful of the water also, but it wants to bathe there. It blocks its fears. The balding life form is not aggressive. There is an object which registers as a recording device. It could be a trail camera that one would strap onto a tree to video record any passing wildlife in a nature area. This life form has a fracture on the foot. The foot is bare, so if it were a human, it has no sock or shoe on that foot anyway. This life form was on its way to the lake. It cannot sit anymore because it has a broken pelvis, some injury that I sense to be at the pelvis bone or tailbone area of the skeleton. Ivory is being hunted for here and sold to markets. There are so many plants on the ground that I do not recognize, meaning species of plants that look like no plants that I have seen before. Twigs on the ground with tiny insect life crawling in those twigs. The animal is holding its foot, rubbing its foot, because the foot has been injured. When I go to inspect the underside of the injured animal foot, it looks like a black gorilla foot, with black or dark gray thick skin and black short hairs. I inspect closer and find residue of plant debris, such as juices from broken strands of grass on the surface of the underside of the foot, indicating that it has walked on fresh green plants. And just inside the underside of the foot, there is a real living blood vessel with pumping blood. When I inspect inside the blood itself, I find a lot of worry chemical, perhaps stress hormones, or similar, something that indicates the animal is under a lot of stress.
I don't want you to see me.
I'm just trying to see so that we know what we have here.
I don't want to be the minced meat of that animal.
He means that he does not want the animal that is up in the tree cat-like to eat him. The bearded man is screaming to relieve his pain. He has pain because he was pounced by someone, and now, therefore, he is bleeding. The bleeding cut-off hand that he is holding up with his other hand, so that we see the wrist with no hand on it, as if that hand went missing. Bearded man has sadness. No bleeding on the face. Has been clawed attacked. Has been bit on. This creature has a head crest, which is like a raised comb or line going vertically across the forehead and to the top of the head. The head crest is soft and could be part of a hat. Long, thick black eyelashes. The bearded man is lying on his back in the nature at the lake. There is a huge fish with blue silver scales that is over him. The man is screaming. This creature that is in the water has a tall, elongated head with a crest, and the snout is protruding forward like a thick, ape-like nozzle. The eyes are big. The creature has brown hairs on the sides of the nozzle. It has injuries on or near its throat or neck that have several red scratch-like marks. This animal is covered in green plants everywhere I look. There are small, fresh green leaves. This creature is in water. At the back of the neck, there is a raised hunchback, but that is behind the neck area, making it a very thick neck. This thing covered in leaves the other one. Are either of these two humans, or are they both animals? They are neither. Neither of them are either. One of them looks like a fish. The other one looks like a man. And can you guess who killed who? The fish killed the man, and then the man attempted to eat the fish. So he, the man, died because of it. Tell me about the fish. The fish is not a female. It can bite. It can claw too. Is the fish a real fish, or is it some other animal? It cannot be other than a fish. Is the man a human? No, he is not. He is something else. He attempted to bring down food. The man's foot is injured. Summary. There seems to be a human who for some reason reminds me of a prehistoric hominid, or Ötzi, the Iceman, or a Bigfoot, or Yeti. The landscape is in a vast nature area, but I have also seen a car, and somewhere are several sailboats. The tall head with the crest could also be a hat. I am not entirely certain. In any case, the top of the head has no hair on it, whether due to being bald or due to a hat. The human has black hairs and also brown hairs. There's a fight between two life forms, at least one of which is an animal, some animal with claws. A fish is also part of the story. There is a lake with fish, and the one who seems to be a human is found in the lake water, diving and seeming to be looking for fish. I seem to get the human-like creature and the animal-like creature sometimes confused with each other, so they could also be the same creature, but seen differently, or perhaps misinterpreted. There's a lot to do with injuries to bones, injury to hand and foot, injury to pelvic bone. Lots of sightings of various skeletal pieces, as well as a small, tiny infant, or miscarriage-sized cranium and brain. The sailboats could place us into modern age. However, the target site takes place in a vast forest and nature area. I am hoping things will make more sense after feedback and find their rightful places.